Hello my friends and welcome back to SeaBlock. It's episode 31, and after breaking my noggin for a few days about how to modernize this area, I have finally come up with the solutions to all my problems. So first off, after having green circuits available, I started to stockpile sulfur because sulfur is something we need. And the sulfur now gets led over to another place, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. And apart from that, I haven't changed too much. I just started to stockpile the tin because I really need it to build new belts, because since a short while we can't build yellow belts out of iron anymore, so that's that. Besides that, I have decided to make mineral sludge out of all the slag I have here. I considered this here as the prototype and the kickstart for the large-scale production, but we're going to overhaul the complete metal production here. And it's going to be a quite big project. The bigger plan will be to bring up the mineral sludge production somewhere over here and bring up the metal casting industry over here. And after this has been overhauled, I'm going to shut down this operations, because everything which is residing over here right now will ultimately have a place right there when we're done. So this is going to be a project for the next 2 or 3 episodes, I suppose, but well, gotta have some plans if you want to get somewhere. So I already pre-produced everything except for the ore crushers. It just struck me while I was getting myself some tea before I started that I totally forgot about the ore crushers. They slipped past my attention. That's okay though. Apart from that, I wanted to say thanks to whoever brought up the comment to reuse the valves to regulate the fluid control here. I had the problem that these arrays here were backing up due to the fluids not getting processed properly, so this here solved the problem. This will only burn oxygen as soon as it as soon as this pipe has more than 80 units filling, so it will never burn this pipe empty. It just will get rid of the excess, exactly what I want it to happen. So thanks for that advice. I didn't know how to pull that off before. It did help me a lot. Maybe it'll help you as well, who knows. So we're going to pick up a few units of sand and this and that before we get over there to produce some things. But the most important thing I already picked up, which was the bricks. The bricks. So in the longer run now, of course, I want to overhaul this whole thing here a little bit. I'm short of stone. That's what's lacking. I was wondering. The raw output, the raw readout confused me. 40 ore. What's that? But they want me to pick up some stones. That's what I should do. Okay. Well, maybe pick up a few more. Okay. So that should suffice. C-block experience, always have something to handcraft. In the long run, it really turns out like that. So my basic idea now will be to reroute the slag into this direction. Everything which flows right now towards the upper half of the map will flow over here. Before we're going to start to reroute the ore, or much more the slag, I'm going to whip out the sand, and we're going to make ourselves some room, because I like to be spacious or chaotic, name it as you want. Alright, so let's pick up a little bit more of that. And then, well, maybe a little bit less spacious. But I want to have a little bit of breathing room to work with, because this is going to be a quite big thing here. So first off will be the liquefiers, where we turn the slag into slurry. We're going to have 12 for now, but I want to have a positioning which allows me to expand that if necessary, because I know that 3 of them are not exactly getting through the output of these guys. So, well, let's see. We're just taking a rough measurement here. So that's 4, 5. So let's maybe get a little something like this in between. Just want to make sure that I give this whole machinery a little bit of room to work with, because in the end we're going to have a lot of pipe work down here, and it's better to give the pipe work some room. Alright, so I figure that I want to output the mineral sludge, or whatever it is, slag slurry it is at this point, into this direction. So we're going to have an even spread out here like that. Luckily I have so many copper pipes and so many copper plates that I don't have to worry about that stuff at all. It's one of the upsides going on such an overkill layout like I did. It did cost me some time, but now at least I can build quite spammy without needing to wait too much. Alright, so the next thing here is I'm needing sulfuric acid, and I already made the necessary preparations for that with this sulfur line here. It's a little bit of a weird job, because I'm going to reroute the sulfur now from here to over there, and once we're done with building up everything here, we're going to produce our own sulfur over here, and then we can cut off this belt here and shut down this whole operations, because we're going to produce our new sulfur over here. Right. Every SeaBlock player did completely understand what I said there. I think this sounds like gibberish though while I'm listening to myself. So this all here can actually go. It's not necessary anymore. Although the way I laid the oxygen pipes and the water pipes make it quite hard to lay that through here. So the curse of the spaghetti monster. It's okay. I can't handle my own chaos, don't worry. Famous last words. Jokes aside, we're doing quite fine here. So for now, I'm going to keep it like that, but I don't think... Or, well... Since this is a line I will shut down completely as soon as we get there, I don't mind how it flows right now. The only thing I do mind about is that I need more tin. So I also shut down my automated production of electronic circuits, because I kind of like have around 400 for the moment. I'm fine with that. I need the tin plates way more. So I'm building a few more belts, because I'm also running out of those. Alright, so the whole thing with the... How did this work again? We were going over... This was for the sulfur. I don't need this part. I'm needing 2 chemical plants. One for the pre-production of this, and then the other one for the sulfuric acid. And I'm going to need that double, though. So we're going to pick up 4 chemical plants. I don't have those yet. So another thing I forgot. Oh man, this mod has just way too many little things. So let's see. But at least I can handcraft them in between here. Awesome. Okay. So I will pipe off the oxygen from here, and it's going to be quite easy, I figure. So we're building up this, and I'm going to have something like that. Yeah, that's a good one. This makes the pipe work quite easy. Here I'm going to use another one of those valves I was talking about a minute before, because this is the easiest way to use it. And then we're going to, well, no, not needing the, I won't need the underground pipe here. There's no need for that. Just waiting for a valve, and here again, going to plug this in between. Well, could replace that though. The joy of fluid piping. There we go. So this will ensure that we're only going to burn off the oxygen which is not needed by this compound here, and the rest here is a lot easier. So we're going to pick up that stuff. Oh, we're needing still purified water. Huh. I forgot about that one. Damn. So, well, I'm going to need a little bit more space between these two arrays, I figure. Purified water is easiest made in these guys. Finally, I have free access to this. This is such a relief. This was a real pain to be not able to build those hydro plants, and well, I didn't know that I was so short of those, but well, the joys of being a noob. I don't want to mutter here too hard. It's just this is quite hard. This would be better if I turn it this way around. It's easier. So I hope this will be enough, though. But I think it will. So there we go. Let's check it out, though. Yeah, I'm going to have an overproduction of the purified water. Good. So, well, I'm going to stick with that one. But, I really didn't expect to say that at some point, but, I gotta admit, I started enjoying the fluid work in this mod a lot. No. Not like this. I'm going to place those a little bit closer. It should work. If we put them like that. Or does it? Please tell me that it does. I think it should. So first off, I'm going to route that off into this direction. Well, going to be a little bit sad if it doesn't, but well, it's looking good. Because I can just pipe those through here. just like that. Boom. This should work. Let's give those bad boys a little bit of power. I want to see how they go. Alright. Of course, I now have to feed some sulfur into those. Second one is a little bit tricky though. So let's do some more spaghetti. I love spaghetti. Who doesn't love spaghetti? So number 1 is quite easy. Number 2 needs a little bit more magic. But I just spotted something there. Boom. Just like that. Even has power there. It was meant to be. Nice. Alright. This way we're going to have the sulfuric acid we need. Later on I think I'm going to stockpile the sulfuric acid in this area. Good thing is I can expand land-wise down here and expand the sulfuric acid production also. So I'm good to go. I'm trying to lay down a few more long-term plans this time because well, with this array we're going to stick for a while, you know. So I want to make it stick. This isn't really efficient. There we go. Well, I could go without those, but I started to like the visuals with proper spacings a lot more. No. So that's a start, isn't it? Going to fetch myself some more electric poles, and there we are. They might not have slag yet, but they're going to have. So first problem I'm seeing here with this kind of solution is I won't have a chance to feed them slag, so I can't belt off the slag like that. We have to expand that a little bit. I noticed there. Just noticed this is a mistake here. So I figure that probably I'm going to belt it off with undergrounds a little bit upwards. So already have something in mind. But I figure the next step would be to bring on the slag. I like it. But first off, I need to pick up some more units of land. Ooh, that's a good one. Didn't plunder that one for a while. Alright. This'll be enough for the plans at hand. Should fetch myself some more pipes as soon as I can, though. Maybe increase the demand a little bit, because we're going to need a lot of pipes. So like I said, I'm going to expand it a little bit into this direction as well, because I figure this will be of importance in the future. So, and also it looks a little bit less claustrophobic if you're having a little bit more space. So now we're talking. Okay, that's that. So now we're getting to the point I was waiting for the whole episode. Reversing the belts, like destroying my old production scheme. These are already in the right directions. This is a great moment to go for for those big changes. Alright. So this here... I guess I'm going to belt that below the oxygen pipes here. I guess this will be the smartest choice. So, these guys here won't be running like that anymore. So this will be all turned off in the future because we're going another direction. Also, I figure I want to have a few more tin plates, and we're going to pick up a few more iron plates as well, and handcraft a few belts. So luckily I made myself quite a nice stockpile of iron plates, so I'm good to go for the next few moments. Oh, pipes, of course, the pipes. Almost forgot them again. The pipes. Let's pick up a few of those as well. And also, I really figured I'm going to have a triple one here, because there's going to be a lot of fluid work. I love it. I really start to like it, because conveyor belts are one thing, and they're fun and everything, but building up larger fluid networks is really a nice change of pace. Basically, I really enjoy doing something different once in a while. So we're going to what? I noticed that my whole sulfur business here is a little bit off. So these guys are needing that a lot more. So what I'm going to do is this. So we're going to use this one, and the sulfur will get its own connection from up there, because I just noticed that the belt was right there as it was so perfect, and the sulfur can use this little niche nobody else was able to use, so... Whoops. That's the best part about it. Okay. So now, I'm just going to connect this again, and boom. Same thing as before. I mean, we're going to dispose that later anyways, but for the time being, this is good. Alright, so next up will be... No, I don't need to do anything. This works already. I always think that I have to do something like this. I mean, you can do this, but it's not necessary. Splitter actually does this on its own. But it always gets me. I want to do that. So, or am I wrong? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Sometimes the exact mechanics of the belts still confuse me from time to time. There's always something new I learn, and I'm pretty surprised about how deep the conveyor belt mechanics can go. Although I feel like they're quite simple, yet they're not. Belts are simple until they are not. I would put it like that. What am I doing? This is what I want to do. So these are only 10 units of slack per second, so it has no problem to travel on this belt at all. So this is a good exit point. With all these extremely short underground belts, it's a real pain. So what we're going to do here is they have to go like that, and I don't know to where, but for the time being I'm going to use the maximum distance like this, because I need the space to handle in between. I don't think that I'm going to need this distance, and I strongly assume that I'm going to replace the guys over here, but this way I have everything open without blocking myself somehow. Alright, so there goes my next plan. Boom. This is only half the amount we're going to have available. So, yeah, well, I'm going to do the belts to the very end anyways. It's no problem. Doesn't hurt if the production gets spread over these machines. And besides, it's going to be quite easy to twiddle the other electrolyzers in as soon as I'm there. Okay. And then I really managed to get it off one tile. Are you kidding me? So the worst thing about that is sitting here with a belt full of slag. Well, going to insert it into the machines manually. Whatever. It's just sea dirt. At least no LJ, you know? At least no LJ. Alright, there we go. To drop in the slag here into these machines, and that's that. How many inserters would they need? I mean, basic inserters 3. Okay, fast inserters 1. Ooh, alright. So I would need the red ones all across the board. They'll need bronze plates, but luckily I have used so many red ones before the overhaul. I mean, it's a little bit cheaty in a way, but here are, like, here I can pluck off a few, and it won't be noticed at all. So I figure these won't be noticed too hard at all. I mean, this will all be destroyed soon, so I don't need to be that crazy where I pick them up. Yeah, whatever. I'm going to shut down this production anyway, so just noticed that there's really no reason to stop here, because we're not going to use this anymore. It's a good feeling to recycle your old things. There we go. So for the time being, I'm not going to produce any new plates at all. But at the same time, I don't think it'll hurt me too much. So there we go. It's a little bit more than one red inserter needed, so I'm going to do this like that. I mean, I don't want to be left behind with a not working array, you see. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, so the next step will be the processing here in the filtration units. Over here, I'm using 2 of them for 2 liquefiers, Right now I figure like this thing would support 3 liquefiers, so I don't know if 2 filtration units will be enough. I'm going to set up 8 of them for now, but I'm prepared to expand this if necessary. So what I'm going to do here, the question is how much room do I really want to leave here? I don't think I really need too much, so I think I want to put them down like on this axis here. Let's check out how this has to work. I'm going to have the input over here. I'm needing also purified water, so there goes the purified water need again. So whatever might be the case where I will get the purified water from, that doesn't matter too much right now. What matters is how does that correlate with my slag slurry here. I mean, I'm not really bound in any way. I could also lead that over here. But I guess it would be the easiest way to have them adjusted like that and lead the final produce further into this direction here, because ultimately that's where I want the stuff to go. So that would be really good. Apart from that, I think it would be a safe spot to drop them somewhere like this. I think I'm completely fine with having them living here. So let's get them like this, a little bit adjusted so that 3 of them will always sit a little bit together like that. Oh well, that doesn't work. So rather have a real symmetry than a jumble. That's 4 of them, so 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Wait a sec. I didn't have a recipe on that. Oops. Alright. So we're going to need a lot of purified water. I'm just wondering, how much will one hydro plant no. Oh, dang it. Can I? Yeah, that's working out. So, let's check. The purified water amount is -50, so we're needing 150. That's 2 hydro plants we're going to need here. Alright, so let's set them up as well. I'm going to need another one. Oh, look at that. I'm actually able to build a more efficient one. 150, eh? Oh, what? So let's check it out. It should work. It should actually work. If this bad boy is able to produce 100, I should be able to produce 150 with that. Steel production. Something I should consider as well. I'm there, I can do it. So we're going to do this in the future. But until the future, I need a little bit of something. I dislodged that a moment ago, and I want to put it up again because I just noticed how important my ability to use the MK2 items is. So since I have that huge stockpile anyways, let's put it to some use. Alright, since I'm having here a valved burn situation, well, flare stack, that's the word I was looking for. Sometimes it's really hard to talk and think at the same time. Input and output. And I'm going to toss in a few hundred of those. Just to produce a little bit of steel off the grid. Before I'm able to mass produce that stuff properly, because I notice how much benefit it does bring at all, actually. Because the MK2 things here are such a big boost. If I didn't get that wrong here, so let's check it out. 150 should be enough, shouldn't it? There we go. One machine instead of two. Lovely. All right. There's not really a reason why they shouldn't be sitting like that, I think. This should be quite efficient, I think. So let's build another offshore pipe. I really like to give every machine its own offshore pipe, because this makes the grids way more understandable. If there are way too many things on one offshore pump, it gets hard to twiddle it to keep an overview about things. So I'll need another clarifier, and then we go. So I finally feel like I'm getting somewhere where it's going to be organized and stay organized. Because also this battery, this is even. So I would go for like another 8 of those buddies here into this direction, boom, and then another hydro plant, boom. So I could go for 12 of those again, and this would be somewhat synergistic. I don't know if this and if those two elements are working together really good already, but this here is a really good. I really like that one. So, okay. We're going to do it like that, and then it's sadly already over for today. The next steps would be yeah. Sorry, I was lost in a thought there for a moment, because I noticed that I don't really had any real plans for the filter output, but I just want to give it a go here. How I want, and that I just noticed that I'm going to do something like that, and boom. So I'm going to have a inserter which is going to output these like that. SeaBlock really offers you great ways to solve your problems. At least I'm able to solve these complex situations with some tools. Alright, so of course these will now get disabled. I just had them as a measurement. So what I'm going to do next, okay, I hope this will work out. Please work out. That would be really annoying if I made a mistake here. Well. That's bad. This one is bad. So they will need a little bit more space. But it's not really a big thing, it's just a minor annoyance. So I have to lay these guys a little bit back, I see. Of course. Silly me. One day I will be able to get these things right from the go. So maybe already something like this would be enough, but I'll try this one. Alright. So I can I'll also set the hydro plant back like that because I really like them to be in a line together. There. So I don't want to break up this one. So there goes the clarifier. But this should be working out then. There we go. So this way I'm going to have more than enough room to pipe the slag slurry together and lead it into the filtration units in a proper way. Wow, this is the first episode where I really have trouble to keep talking while I'm thinking what I do next. So this is Seablock. I really enjoy myself. I hope you do as well. Normally I really don't have any trouble to keep talking while I build, but this is really a little bit tougher. So also I'm giving this episode a little bit of an overtime because I really want to get this one finished on camera because, well, I don't know. It feels like a little triumph here to get all this mass produced finally, you know. It's been a long way till I got here. And I'm certainly happy that I did it. So there we go. Let's get the power over here. Alright. So next up is another... Oh man. I do understand why people use the early game robots in the Seablock a lot. But honestly, one thing is I really like to do these things manually a lot because it helps me taking my time thinking. If I would do this a lot with robots, I assume I would do more mistakes than I already do. So let's check if this will work. So what I'm trying to do is I want to have a centralized line where I can plug in and plug off where I want to, like something like a slurry bus, where I just can pipe off what I need. So here I'm going to just connect this, and then we're going to do something like that, and then it'll work out. I think I could reduce it into, well, no, not really. No, this is okay. Let's not overthink it, not over-optimize it. Good old Pareto rule. 80% of the work is done in 20% of the time. And there we go. Just needing the filter thingies, but that's next episode's topic. So what I managed here is this here. I will be able to put that into a tank later on, stockpile a little bit, or expand, or whatsoever. I can keep this mobile or flexible. I really want to avoid this nasty spaghetti situation where I started off with, because I was completely okay going spaghetti in the early game because I really had no clue what I was doing at all. But as soon as I know what I'm doing, I try to do a little bit more orderly. So, time to get out. We're going to continue next episode with this. I guess next episode I'm going to slam down the crystallizers and everything. I don't know, the ore casting and everything. The metal casting, I don't think I will finish that in the next episode. I think next episode will be the crystallization process, and episode 3 will be where we're going to produce real plates. So feel free to drop me comments, likes, subscriptions, you know the drill. It was a great time. I hope you enjoyed yourself as well. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.